By 1944, Wehrmacht units were officially issued over 200 types of captured Allied weapons, not as battlefield pickups, but through formal supply channels with German designations and ammunition stocks. American M1 Garands, Soviet PP-6 submachine guns, British Bren guns. This is every Allied weapon Germany actually standardized, and the logistics system that made it work. Lee Enfield Rifle. The British Lee Enfield rifle was one of the most commonly captured Allied firearms during the early campaigns in Western Europe. Large numbers fell into German hands after the evacuations from France and the Low Countries. German forces primarily issued these rifles to rear-area troops, occupation units, and training formations. While the rifle's rapid bolt action and reliability were respected, ammunition compatibility limited its frontline use. Its presence reflected Germany's pragmatic approach to shortages, where even enemy standard rifles became part of the war economy when domestic production could not meet expanding demands. Sten submachine gun. The British Sten gun was widely captured in occupied Europe, particularly during anti-partisan operations and raids on resistance caches. Its simple construction made it easy to understand, repair, and copy. German units valued the Sten for close-quarters fighting, especially among security troops and special units operating in urban or forested environments. Some were even reissued with German markings. Ironically, the Sten's crude design allowed it to move fluidly between enemy and resistance hands, blurring the line between Allied supply and German counterinsurgency use. M1 Garand Rifle. The American M1 Garand was encountered later in the war, especially during fighting in Italy and after the Normandy landings. Captured examples were relatively rare, but highly prized. German soldiers admired the Garand's semi-automatic fire, which offered a clear advantage over bolt-action rifles in sustained combat. However, limited ammunition availability prevented widespread adoption. Where it appeared, the Garand symbolized a technological gap Germany increasingly struggled to close as Allied industrial output surged. Bren Light machine gun. The British Bren gun was frequently captured in the early phases of the war, particularly during the collapse of Allied forces in France. German evaluations praised its accuracy and reliability. Captured Brens were often used by second-line units, coastal defense forces, and occupation troops. Some were rechambered to accept German ammunition, reflecting the effort to integrate them into existing logistics. The Bren's use demonstrated how German forces selectively adopted Allied weapons that met their tactical standards rather than discarding them outright. Vickers heavy machine gun. Although less commonly captured intact, the British Vickers machine gun did see limited German use, mainly in static defensive positions. Its water-cooled design made it well-suited for fixed emplacements, guarding infrastructure or coastal positions. German units recognized its durability, but found it cumbersome compared to their own systems. The Vickers deployment illustrated Germany's willingness to repurpose even heavy, crew-served weapons when strategic necessity demanded it. French 75mm field gun. Canon de 75 Model 1897. After the fall of France, Germany captured thousands of French artillery pieces, none more famous than the 75mm field gun. These guns were extensively reused by German forces for coastal defense, training, and occupation duties. Some were modified to fire German ammunition or mounted on fixed emplacements along the Atlantic Wall. The widespread use of the French 75 reflected how conquered arsenals became an extension of German firepower across occupied Europe. British 2-pounder anti-tank gun. British anti-tank guns were captured in North Africa and early European campaigns. The 2-pounder, though increasingly obsolete, still found a place in German service. Captured guns were typically issued to secondary units or used to bolster defenses where modern German anti-tank weapons were unavailable. Their reuse highlighted how rapidly evolving armor warfare forced Germany to press even outdated enemy weapons back into service. Soviet 76.2mm field gun. Captured Soviet artillery represented one of the largest sources of foreign weapons used by Germany. The 76.2mm gun, seized in enormous numbers during the invasion of the Soviet Union, became a staple of German artillery units. Many were officially adopted, redesignated, and supplied with captured ammunition stocks. Some were even modified to improve their anti-tank performance. This weapons integration marked one of the most extensive and systematic uses of captured Allied arms during the war. French Char B-1 heavy tank. The Char B-1 was among the most formidable tanks Germany captured intact in 1940. Its heavy armor and powerful armament impressed German evaluators. Rather than scrapping them, Germany converted many Char B-1 tanks into flamethrower vehicles or used them for occupation and training roles. Their continued service demonstrated Germany's ability to repurpose even complex armored systems when industrial resources were under strain. Somuwa S-35 medium tank. The Somuwa S-35 was widely regarded as one of the best tanks of its time, and Germany captured hundreds after France's defeat. These tanks were incorporated into German units, particularly in occupied territories and on secondary fronts. Crews appreciated their armor and mobility, though maintenance proved challenging. The Somuwa's use revealed how German armored doctrine adapted pragmatically when high-quality enemy equipment became available. Soviet T-34 medium tank. The T-34 shocked German forces during the invasion of the Soviet Union. Captured examples were quickly tested, studied, and in some cases pressed into service. German units used captured T-34 seconds sparingly, often with modified markings to prevent friendly fire. Mechanical reliability and spare parts limited their sustained use. More than any other captured weapon, the T-34 influenced German tank design philosophy, shaping future developments rather than serving as a long-term battlefield asset. Supermarine Spitfire. Several Spitfires fell into German hands through forced landings or capture of airfields. These aircraft were carefully restored and evaluated. The Luftwaffe used captured Spitfires for test flights, training, and occasionally for deceptive operations. Their performance was closely studied to understand Allied air superiority. The Spitfire's capture contributed less to combat strength and more to intelligence, shaping German responses to Allied air power. American B-17 Flying Fortress. Downed B-17 bombers were salvaged whenever possible. Some were repaired and flown by the Luftwaffe for evaluation and special missions. These aircraft were used to study defensive armament, formation tactics, and bombing systems. A small number were even flown operationally for transport or covert purposes. The B-17's analysis underscored how air war increasingly became a contest of industrial design and adaptation. Allied landing craft. Germany captured numerous Allied landing craft, particularly after failed raids and in Mediterranean operations. These vessels were repaired and reused for transport and coastal patrol duties. Their shallow draft and versatility made them valuable in areas where Germany lacked specialized amphibious vessels. Their reuse illustrated how naval warfare, like land combat, rewarded flexibility over ideological purity in equipment choices. Allied radios and optical equipment. Beyond weapons, Germany captured vast quantities of Allied radios, rangefinders, and optical devices. These were often superior in quality to German equivalents. Captured equipment was reissued to frontline units, intelligence services, and training schools. In some cases, German industry copied design features outright. These less visible captures quietly improved German operational effectiveness, even as the broader war turned against them. Captured Allied weapons did not win Germany the war, but they shaped how it fought under pressure. From rifles and machine guns to tanks and aircraft, enemy equipment became an emergency reservoir of strength. Their use reflected a military system stretched beyond its industrial limits, forced to rely on adaptability rather than abundance. Each captured weapon told a story of conquest, improvisation, and constraint. Terrain, logistics, and doctrine ultimately determined which weapons could be absorbed and which remained curiosities. Germany's ability to integrate foreign arms revealed both technical sophistication and strategic vulnerability. In the end, the widespread reliance on captured weapons was not a sign of ingenuity alone, but a quiet indicator that the balance of global production and momentum had shifted irreversibly against the Axis powers.